my keys of my car. They let me unpack everything and whatever, and then they took my keys. And they were like, we don't think it's safe for you to go home.
What's good, J&T family?
We're back with another video. So, we are in our little Airbnb. As you can see, the scenery has changed. We are not on the couch at home. We are somewhere else.
We're on a couch far away. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so essentially we decided to get a change of scenery. We wanted to get out of the house, so we are not at home right now, and we are doing a video elsewhere, which is super fun. We're excited. We've already done one vlog today, and we thought, you know what? Niagara, which is where we are, has kind of been like a place of ours since we started dating. One of our, like the first little vacation we ever went on was in Niagara, and we came here, and we had like a really like amazing experience kind of thing right before COVID happened.
So, as you guys know from our previous vlog, which will probably be released before this one, we're in Niagara right now, and we're in our Airbnb, and we decided, because of the fact that this is kind of where, like, I wouldn't say it's where we fell in love, but it's kind of where like it really made us realize that we're each other's person. I would say, like, we decided that we were gonna do a little quick story time, not only about our love, but like the interesting circumstance that happened of COVID.
And how it affected things.
And how it affected things.
Because we have quite the story.
We have quite the story.
Yeah.
So,
we're gonna
before
let
we
you guys
see the
in
story,
on
you want a little,
chink.
have a little,
yeah. Because we haven't, we've been together for over 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we've been to Niagara.
And we've like pretty much like the majority of our, no, not pretty much, the majority of our relationship has been during COVID times. So it's been like a really interesting experience dating in COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You can start.
Okay, so basically what happened was a couple months before like the craziness of COVID hit.
And the lockdown.
And the lockdown of COVID hit. Again, this is in Canada. I don't know if it was different through the world. I feel like the world, I feel like we were lagging. I think that there were like parts of like Europe and stuff that were already locking down and stuff. And then we came afterwards, but from Canada, March was when we had our first ever, you know, COVID shutdown, things need to come to a halt. So a couple months before that, we met or whatever.
We told a story about that. Like,
and we did have a little story time about that and how we met and all of that stuff. But, you know, a couple months after we met, we realized that this whole COVID thing was becoming like a bigger and bigger issue. And we were just kind of like, shoot, like we never really thought about how it would affect our relationship because obviously like no one's ever been through a pandemic in our lifetime.
We didn't even think it was that serious.
No, we were like,
which will lead into our story a bit more.
We didn't even think it was that crazy, that serious. But we like have a very specific story that's really connected to Niagara, and that's kind of what made us think about it.
And so, we thought, let's share it because it's a really cool story. Yeah. And it's definitely one that we will be telling our kids or our grandkids down the line because it's just like insane to think about. Yeah. So, well, can I like say?
Okay, yeah, you do you.
So I guess where should we start?
I was just gonna say. So basically what ended up happening is we were here in Niagara. We weren't at this Airbnb, but we were at another Airbnb that we thought was
No, it starts before that because we started hearing. So before that, we started hearing about the lockdown. Like we started hearing about kind of whispers about everything locking down early March, okay? So let's think about this. We met a few months before that. We were starting to get really serious. We had officially started dating. And then, and we were like really new in our relationship, going out all the time, having a lot of fun, like this was before COVID times. We heard about, this was like a few months after we started hearing about it coming out of China. So it was all over the news and stuff, but we kind of were like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just like H1N1 or any other like flu or whatever. We were just like, nah, whatever. So we didn't really know it was going to be as big as it ended up being. So yeah, we were going out all the time. We were getting to know each other, that kind of like honeymoon phase of the relationship and just like getting to know each other. And we started dating at one point, like a few months after we met. And then things started to hit the fan. We started hearing about whispers of everything shutting down, school shutting down, like the whole world shutting down.
No, she wasn't ready.
And we were like, oh, this is like a joke. We didn't think it was actually
Well, I think everybody thought it was a joke.
We were like, really?
Like, nobody thinks the economy's actually going to like shut down and like close, right? So then we decided, like, after we started hearing all these whispers and everything like that, my birthday was actually coming up because my birthday's at the end of March, and we decided, and it was like middle of March. Well, it was like a couple days before my birthday. Actually,
it was like the weekend before.
It was like the weekend before. Like my birthday was on like the Thursday, and it was like basically like the Friday.
Yeah.
So basically, what we ended up doing was we said, okay, we're going to rent an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hang out and we'll have a good time because at that point it was like, by that point it was like basically everybody knew that a lockdown was coming, but we didn't know like when or what was gonna happen, but there was whispers of it happening within like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Or within like a week or two, right?
And there was like whispers that like roads would be shut down and we wouldn't be able to like drive from place to place or drive anywhere other than like the grocery store or like essential places.
And like guys, we were also like, oh my gosh, because we were thinking that I was gonna have to like potentially like stay with my ex,
lock down with
my ex.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
Leave the house
because if I couldn't leave the house, like I obviously like
had to be with
like
kids.
I didn't know, like we didn't know how long it was gonna be for. We didn't know anything like that. So anyways, so we ended up staying in the Airbnb for the full for the weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it was one night?
Was it one night?
I think it was one night.
It might have been the one night. Yeah, maybe it was just one night. We ended up staying at the Airbnb. We had a great time. And then
we treated it how, like, let's talk a little bit more about it. We like treated it like we were like really worried it was gonna be the last time we saw each other for a long time, and we both had like a sneaking suspicion. We kept saying like
we were like no,
it won't
we were
happen.
Like, but we were like even if we were separated, we were like, or if anything happened, we were like it'll be for like a week or two. Because that's basically what they were saying, was that the lockdowns were happening for like a week or two.
But we were still kind of like, oh, I don't know if it'll happen, whatever.
Yeah,
we were like saying that kind of stuff.
The economy's not going to shut down. Like,
but then, and also that night was the first night we said we love each other. So we had like a really like
it wasn't like forced because of the fact that we were like worried about what was going to happen or anything like that. It
was just like the natural.
It just like naturally happened.
Yeah. You love me. You really love me.
Yeah.
And again, in a previous video, she, by accident, I didn't realize, but in the confessions video, she had already said she loved me like a month in. I just didn't hear. So, and I was feeling
this
it
is when
too.
I actually admitted it, though. This is when I actually like admitted it to her, and I said it at first, and she said it back, and we had a really like connecting time together, which was really nice considering what was going to happen afterwards.
Yeah. So then we finished, like we have our weekend or whatever, and we go back to like our house, like not our home, but we go back to our city where we're from. And
a day or two later,
like 2 days later, like everything's good, whatever. 2 days later, I get a text from her.
And the government announced a lockdown.
Yeah. So the government announced a lockdown.
A strict lockdown. The first lockdown when the whole, when everyone remembers, well, at least in Canada, like the whole country, like shutting down. This was the lockdown we're talking about. This was
this one, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember getting a text from her being like, my parents, they want to go up to my cottage because they didn't know how hectic it was going to get like in the city. So they wanted to go like up to the cottage, like, because at that point like nobody knew like how bad it, like how it was being transmitted or like
how
like that.
Everyone was like stockpiling.
Like everyone was the toilet paper.
Everyone was hoarding everything. Like you could go to, when you went to Walmart, the shelves were empty.
Toilet paper though? Can we talk
I don't know.
about
I think people thought that was going to be something that went low. It was really silly.
I just want one pack. No, not one pack.
No. But either way, like they had limits on the amount of food you were allowed.
The fights over toilet paper?
There was limits on the amount of food that you were allowed to buy. It was insane.
Yeah.
Everyone was like buying cases of water. It was scary. My parents were like freaking out. I still lived with them at the time. And I was still going to school, and school shut down, and it was just like crazy. Within a matter of days, it was like the whole world flipped upside down, and we did not know what we were going to do. It was crazy. Either way, so my parents started saying to me, trying to convince me, they were like, it's safer up at the cottage, there's less people up there, who knows how bad this is gonna get, there could be like riots and stuff. There was talk of that kind of stuff. Like, it was really intense. So my parents,
that's like the army was gonna come.
Yeah, so my parents were like, okay, like, we need to leave. And at first I was like, I don't know, I don't know if I want to come, and I didn't for like a little bit. They were up before me, and they kept convincing me to come. So eventually I was like, well, I'll come up for a couple weeks. They said, okay,
This is like 2 weeks, right?
They were like, yeah, just come up for a couple weeks until things calm down a little bit, and then you can leave. So I was like, great. So I texted her, told her I'm gonna go up to my parents' cottage for a couple weeks, like, and we were like, whatever, that's fine, like, sure, like, cause
it'll suck, but like at least it'll be like a week or two, and then it's fine. We'll go from there.
Because I was like stuck at my house by myself, kind of thing, and it was creepy because my brother and my parents were up at my cottage at that point, so like.
She lives in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like really scary to be there by myself, and she couldn't come stay with me because of the kids. So like it was just, I was alone, and it was kind of scary. So anyway, so I went up to see my parents, and that's when things took another turn.
They went crazy on her.
So they took my keys of my car when I got there. They let me unpack everything and whatever, and then they took my keys, and they were like, we don't think it's safe for you to go home until this is over.
We had no clue how long it was going to be for.
Yeah. So they basically started off being like, well, we'll see how things are, and then weeks turned into months.
We were away from each other for like...
Let's tell the story though, so we can... Like...
Well, let's just say, first of all, that the total time that we were away from each other was 3 months. Okay, guys? But, okay, everybody knows long distance sucks, okay? And I took it upon myself to make
let's talk
sure.
about what we used to do, like what we did before. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I think that this is also 12 minutes long.
Okay.
So we gotta
okay. So I'll be quick. I'll go through that. I'll go through that. Then you tell that. Then you tell that part. Okay. So. Anyway, so they basically kind of held, my parents basically kind of held me hostage for a little bit. I totally think that they were trying to keep me safe. I don't like resent them for it, but at the time I was like, I'm a whole ass adult. And here I am being like held hostage,
and they hadn't met me yet either, so they didn't know like if I was taking it serious, about going out and hanging out with all my friends.
Yeah,
like,
they were scared of COVID. This was before they had the vaccine, everything. So I think that they just wanted to keep me safe. I get that. I understand that. So anyway, we went through quite a long period of time without seeing each other at all, and we were just using FaceTime, using apps like House Party.
There's House Party was an app that came out. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if
Zoom blew up as well.
Was House Party only Canadian?
I don't know. House Party is like a thing where you can invite people, and then like you have like a party over your laptops, essentially, kind of thing, and it's just everyone's screens all together, and you can play games and like drink together or do whatever.
Trivia. So, there was like trivia and stuff like that.
So we did that a little bit. It was getting really hard though. Like I won't lie. Like it was very painful.
It was really tough not to be able to be near, especially because it was like new and like
not even that. It's hard.
Connection, but we also had the connection where it's like we knew that like we were gonna be together, but you were starting to get insecure that like I was just gonna be like, screw it, I'm not waiting for you.
Because it wasn't my.
But I was like, girl,
on her end,
dating app am I gonna go on in the middle of COVID?
Okay, so that shouldn't be your response. Your response would be, you're my person, and I'm never gonna leave you.
I know that, but I was also saying on top of that, like, why are you even insecure?
I think I just felt like really, I think because of our age gap, I was just kind of like, well, this seems really immature that my parents are like holding me hostage. And
I have Guyanese parents. Enough said. Moving forward.
Okay. Fair enough. But anyway, so
I'm treated like I'm 13 still.
Eventually, we just started getting really deprived. So we were like, okay, this is where if my parents ever come across this video, please exit the video now. Don't bother watching. Please don't. Okay.
So exit. Stage left.
Moving on. Now
so I took it upon myself. Okay. And I said, there's gotta be a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And the more that you guys get to know me, the more that you will understand that I am a very crafty human. I'm a very crafty,
sneaky
individual. I gotta remember, I gotta look here, not here. Here.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, let's devise a plan. And I let her in on this. I said, let's devise a plan so that we can sneak and see each other. Because it was about 2.5
love.
It was literally about 2.5 months in, and it was like we were just like both really sad, and it was just like deprived, and like it was just disaster, right? So I said, okay, here's the tea. This is the plan. You're going to pretend like you're sneaking out to the nearest town from your cottage, and you're gonna say that you need to buy art supplies.
I'm an artist, so that makes sense. And I needed socks.
And then I was like, I'm gonna buy the art supplies for you beforehand, give them to you so that when you go back to your cottage, it looks like you actually went to the town and bought the supplies. And I'm gonna get an Airbnb in that town, and we're gonna see each other.
Oh my God! Wow!
Okay?
For like a short period of time.
For like a really short period of time. So the plan went off without a hitch. I like found a place. It was like, and guys, this is like a 3.5 to 4 hour drive, like from where we live. So it was like a trek, like it was a mission, but I was determined because I was like, yo, like I just want to see her. I don't really care how long I have to drive. Like I'm just seeing her.
I'm obsessed.
So I drive there, we meet, it was amazing.
I had to sneak out.
She snuck out.
My parents like didn't even want to let me leave to get the supplies.
Honestly,
they were like, they thought I wasn't coming back.
And she was literally like, I have nothing to do here. Like I'm actually depressed. Like please just
let
me go.
leave. And they finally
were like, but also disclaimer, her parents are actually like wonderful, wonderful humans, and they're not like crazy. I know they sound a little bit weird in this video.
This was like the one time they kind of like lost their minds.
Everybody lost their minds. So they just wanted to keep their family safe. And that's the most important thing. Like when you have a family, like you want to keep them safe. So like obviously it was not like
I joke
crazy
around.
people that
like
are like whatever.
They held
super chill.
They held me hostage. They kidnapped me for a minute.
Yeah,
but it was literally just because they wanted to keep me safe. So I don't resent them. So anyways,
so we like met up. We were probably there for like about, because she had only like a small window, because in order to make the story believable, she had to say she was going to the next town to get art supplies. And like, how long does it really take to go
I had a few. I made it a few errands.
Oh yeah, she made a couple errands.
I made like I had to go get socks from Walmart. I had to go to the art supply store, and I had to go to Dollarama. I also had another one to go to the post office to send something to you, but that I was just giving to her, right? So it was I got rid of it. But either way, I made a big list of things so that I could spend the most time with her as possible, but it was still only going to be a couple hours. But then once we met up, obviously we hung out for a couple hours, whatever, and guess who calls?
Yeah.
My dad. And he's screaming at me on the phone, "Where have you been? It's been hours! Like, who are you seeing? What are you doing? I swear to God, if you're lying." Yeah.
No! She wasn't ready.
Yeah. He's like, "If you're lying to me, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, oh my God. I was like about to like poop my pants. Cause my dad is a scary human. No, he wasn't. Like I told you he said all that. He called me and he's like, "I don't believe you." He was like, "I don't believe you." When I was like, "I'm just finishing up." He was like, "I don't believe you." He's like, "Where are you?" Like, and I was like, "I'm at the post office."
Guys, she comes back. She goes out the house like
my dad's
full
like, "Where
makeup, perfect, everything."
No, I didn't.
Comes back and it's like hair ruffled.
Oh God. I mean, basically. But either way, so yeah, so like we met up, we had a little moment. It was like crazy because we hadn't seen each other in so long, but it was so rushed and it was like so sad again to leave her. I was like, oh my God. And she drove, I felt so loved. She drove 3 hours there and 3 hours back for me. Like she literally
I didn't stay at the Airbnb.
No, she didn't want to stay there. It was like creepy and stuff. So she literally, it wasn't like bad
It wasn't creepy.
It's just
I had to get back.
You had to get back to the kids? Oh.
No, for my best friend.
Oh yeah,
because we had like an online, we had an online concert that we were like supposed to like go for, but I had to get back in time. But anyways.
Yeah, okay, there was that. But either way, also, so yeah, so she had to leave. It was just like, it was so sad. We were only able to spend a couple hours together, but I felt so like loved and cared for because she drove literally like 7 hours almost to see me in one day.
Yeah, we only stayed together for like 2 hours.
2 hours.
It was worth it.
It was worth it, and we really needed it because like we spent so long apart, like 3 months. That's like a quarter of a year.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Anyway, so what ended up happening is,
so I'm gonna tell them.
But I was gonna say I got back, and my dad was like really didn't believe me. Was super like mad, but he had no proof.
Electric chair.
So I literally just have gone down. It's gone down to the grave.
He knows though.
He probably knows. He probably knows.
I feel like he knows. Like he's sneaky like that.
Yeah, he knows. But I think that he just let it go because I think he realized he was being crazy. But anyway, moving on. So then
I was with So this was
this was like another month after this though.
No, it was very quick. It happened like 2 weeks after, babe. Like it literally.
You came to see me beginning of May, and then I came home at like the end of May.
So basically, what happened was one random day. Like it didn't even make sense. Like it wasn't even like she was being like, I think like this might be happening. I think this might be happening. Like it made no sense. But just out of the blue, I was building like a plant box, like a huge garden
for the
in
summer.
the back for the summer in the back.
This is how long we were gone. I left in the winter and didn't come back until spring.
Me and my best friend were building a huge garden in the back, and we were like building like the box for it, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just like out in front, like cutting up the wood and like doing whatever. And then I get a text from her, and she's like, "Hey babe, do you have a second? I have to call you. Like I need to talk to you about something." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what happened? Like is she realizing like she can't do it anymore or like whatever?" I was like all panicked because the way you sent the text was very
I was trying to surprise her.
I need to talk to you.
I was trying to surprise her.
Like. Anyway, so then I go upstairs and she like calls me, but like I could tell through the phone, like you know when someone's on the phone talking but they're smiling? Anyways, I could hear it in her voice that she was like smiling, and I'm like, what the heck's going on?
I was like, guess what? And she's like, what? And I was like, guess what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm coming home. And she was like, you're kidding, like you're joking with me, like you're telling me you're serious. And I was like, I'm serious.
Well, no, I was actually yelling because my best friend came upstairs and was like, is everything okay? Because I was actually like yelling. I was so excited. And then he was like so excited too because it's like
we were all really close.
Yeah.
And we all spent a lot of time together like before COVID.
Yeah, so
I told them I was coming back, and they were both so excited. And then so basically a couple days later, like this was when my parents finally, like me and my brother kind of confronted my parents, and we're just like, we need to like be able to make our own choice. We want to go home. Like I won't even stay here at their house if they didn't want me to. I would like find a place, but I was like, I'm not staying here anymore because it's really bad for like my mental health kind of thing. And they eventually were just like, okay, like we understand. And they just like decided to finally, after 3 months, let up. I was so shocked because I had so many conversations like trying to get them to like let me leave, and they just never did up until this point. So when I finally got that, I was like shocked and so excited and so happy. And so I finally told her, and I was so excited. I came home 2 days later, and we like reunited like in the movies, guys. Like I literally parked my car as fast as I could when I saw her. She came outside, and we like ran to each other and had like the biggest hug, and it was like everything was right again. Like it felt so wrong being away from you for that long. And like it felt so like I was missing a big piece of myself.
Well, and we had also said, like, if your parents, like, didn't want you to stay at the house, because they were at one point was so worried that, like, by you being in the house, like, we didn't know how long, like, COVID germs would, like, stay on surfaces for. So, like, your parents didn't even want you to, like, go up there. And then if they were to come back, like, it'd still be on surfaces. And then, like, if she had COVID, then she would give them COVID. So they were literally like, you can't go to the house. Like, so if you, like, go back to, like, where we live, like you can't be in the house, so you're gonna have to find a place to live. And like who was finding a place to live in the middle of COVID, because everyone was like so freaked out. So we had basically said, like, if that was what was happening, like she would have moved in with me and my best friend, and we would have all like shared the house together. And then when it became COVID, like COVID was over, like we would have just moved in together and found a place together. But yeah, like we didn't even have to do that because your parents just like let you go. And then like a couple weeks later, they just came back to the house. Because we're one of those things where they were just kind of like,
they needed to make sure it wasn't gonna kill us all.
And they didn't know if it was an apocalypse. Like really, people started looking a little bit.
It looked a little bit apocalypsy.
It did look a little bit apocalypsy.
But anyway, so that's the story of how we were separated for 3 months and how we sneaky saw each other when my parents kidnapped me. Like all within a 3 month period, we said I love you. A couple days later, I got stolen away. I was held. I was locked in like a tower. I'm just kidding. And you came and you like saved me essentially. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, it was a crazy story. What?
I saved you.
You saved me.
I climbed up your hair.
Yes, you were Rapunzel. No, but anyway, it was a crazy story, and it's kind of weird. I feel like in COVID, like everyone's stories of like everything has been so insane for everyone that there's a lot of cool and crazy stories everyone's coming out of it with, and that's what we're taking away from it. It's like the beginning of our relationship, we were like forced into a really challenging situation, and we were able to come out like on top of it, and we learned a lot. And yeah, it just kind of shows that like we were obviously made to be together, because I think for a lot of people that would have been really, really hard. And it was hard, but we like made it through really easily.
I don't know about you, but like there was no point for me where I questioned it.
No, there was no point for me.
I think you were just scared for me, but
yeah, I think I was just kind of like, I felt really like silly because I feel like you had more autonomy over your like choices in your life than I felt
I
like I
haven't.
did.
Again, we're gonna circle back, Guyanese family. Autonomy, what's that?
Fair enough. Yeah, you're still 30 and
that's what I'm saying. Like it's like I'm 13. Like they try to like tell me what to do from here. Like it's like insane. But
yeah.
So and I was like whatever. Like you got to do what you got to do. And I'm really big on like respecting parents' wishes and respecting parents and stuff. So I totally understood what she was saying and where she was coming from. And I was kind of like, yo, like we're gonna be together forever anyways. Like when you know, you know. So
and
I was
like,
just kind of like,
we'll be fine, kind of thing.
We'll be fine. We'll make it work. And
yeah. So that's our crazy COVID love story. Hope you guys got a little bit of something from that.
That was a lot.
It was a lot.
There was a lot happening there.
Yeah.
But anyways, so thank you so much for watching again, obviously tuning in. And
if you guys want to hear any other like crazy weird, we have a few in the works.
Oh,
so
we got
if you
some
guys
stuff
want to hear
coming.
another crazy weird story from us or just something, leave something in the comments below. We can try to come up with something because we have a lot of
we got
stories.
tons of stories.
Yeah, we're like we're interesting.
It's just never a dull moment, really.
No. Yeah, so anyway, so we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. So if you guys want to hear another story time, drop it down below.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, and check out our queer art project and our queer art prints down below. And if you want our setup we have the basics. If you want to get started, look down below. You'll find a lot of good
as
things.
a YouTuber, if you want to get started as a YouTuber. Yeah.
If you want to get started and need supplies, like in digital equipment, down below we have a link of a whole bunch of like basic stuff. So anyway, I guess that's it for today's video.
And on that note,
we're gonna enjoy the rest of our time in Niagara together, and we're gonna send you guys off. So,
goodbye.
peace.